BlxckMonopoly presents Dope Dialogue. What's good, y'all? You're not tuning into Dope Dialogue presented by BlxckMonopoly. Today we got on Mugzy. What's good? What's good?
I'm here. How you feeling?
Dylan, I'm good. How about you?
I'm great, man. Just taking it one day. It's actually really, really rainy today in New York, and this weather's been crazy.
I'm pretty sure that could like mess with your mood and everything.
You know, it's funny. I take my mood and I always find a way to use it the right way. So whatever energy it gives me, I create a little different. I kind of like the rain to an extent. I like the smell of rain. That's just me. I'm weird. I don't know.
Nah. Same here. And the sound. Like usually we jump right into like where the people are from. But before we go into there, how do you use the weather to fuel you and like do what you got to do?
Well, it varies. Like, if it's bright, I don't think anything compares to New York summer. That's one. So when I get that energy, I want to be outside, I want to be around my friends. And it also dictates a lot with like fashion, because you get to see what people been dying to wear. People save their fits when they see 85 outside. They want to go to City Island or they want to go wherever to the city, the parks and stuff. So that's one thing. Then there's also outside basketball. Like I'm from that. Like hence the name Mugzy. Like the fashion on the basketball court and how people put things together just because of how the weather permits is a whole other thing. And we don't want to get into how the girls dress. That's a whole other thing. Then like when the rain comes, like a business, like, I could get like a certain energy. I might want to stay in. I might be a little bit more mental, emotional, and I could create that way. Then also there's less people outside and it kind of makes it easier for me to navigate what I want to do because nobody's interfering with me.
Gotcha. That's pretty dope. So basically you use the weather and like just being outside as research. Like you get to see what people are wearing, how people are
Yeah, I
feeling.
mean, I believe we're all products of our environment. So as the environment changes, you got to adjust. If it's cold one day, like, New York has been hobbling with the weather. One day is 80, one day is 50. And I'm supposed to drop a hoodie tomorrow. And it kind of worked out perfect that it got a little colder. So people actually right before this call, someone asked me for the same hoodie I'm about to drop. So it was cool.
That's pretty dope. So you say you're from New York. Give a little people like a little background of where you're from, what it's like, and what it feels like to be, from the part of New York you're from.
Okay, I'm from New York. I'm from the Bronx. I feel like it's real special for me to be from the Bronx because everywhere else, Harlem has their juggernauts and Manhattan, and everybody thinks about Manhattan. Of course, Brooklyn. The list goes on and on and on. Even Queens got their own little demographic, but I feel like Bronx is the only place that's kind of untouched. We're not gentrified at all. Well, my part of the Bronx, I'm all the way uptown, and it hasn't been touched. The same mom and pop shops I used to go to when I was 5, they're still there. The same grandmother works there. And to witness that kind of culture and like business still, it's in me no matter what. Like I'm used to seeing families run business, not big corporations. So
Got you. So that's pretty dope. So like, do you see anything happening for that for like uptown to maintain that? Because everybody see gentrification happening, but nobody really does anything about it until it starts affecting their communities. Then they're like, yo, what's going on? We got to get people out of here. So is uptown strong in terms of like, all right, we're keeping this the same? Because I'm pretty sure for you, it would be low-key tragic if you start seeing these, these things you saw in place growing up having to leave.
I feel like honestly, yeah, because like my guys have we have a warehouse on the main block, White Plains Road, right underneath the 2 train, which is like the hub of like this whole uptown thing. And I'm actually in the process of opening my own location on that same strip. So I feel like we are all in on, like, I had the opportunity to move to LA early on, and I was, conflicted thinking about if I would, and I thought about like, what, it feels more important. It feels a little heavier to actually do it for home, like for the Bronx. And why not? If no one else really puts it on, there's a lot of people that come from the Bronx that you won't even know. Calvin Klein, Ralph Lauren live 5-10 minutes from me. Swiss Beats group over here, the Clips and them. It goes on and on.
For sure.
Diddy went to school up here, ASAP Rocky, and a lot of people, but they never really come back home. We have like Fat Joe, Cardi, A Boogie now and stuff like that. But like for people to be like, I'm gonna go open my first business in the Bronx, they'll still go to Manhattan. They'll still go to Brooklyn. Like that don't really help home. So
for sure. You said something about having a warehouse and actually opening a location right where right where home is.
I grew up.
So like right now, are you And like, is it brick and mortar? Are you in a mall? Like, what's it like? Like, what's it
So
like having to, have your products be in a store in
so
general?
right now, I do mostly online, but I do have a in mall boutique in White Plains, a little up. I had a good relationship with someone up there, and it was to get my feet wet. I had a vision to do something, and I pretty much executed. But COVID kind of threw a lot of things off. A lot of brands didn't make it through, and I did. So after that experience, it was cool and everything. Like I still have it now. I might continue on into the future, but I know for a fact that I want to be able to give my brand specifically that energy of being home, being homegrown. Like that's it. And I feel like we still have an opportunity for this whole Bronx thing to be like Black entrepreneurs and like just our little village, our strip. So I want to be one of the people to put my foot down in it. Like, if I do it, maybe my guy will do it across the street or down the block.
Gotcha. That's dope. So like, what's the difference between like having like a brick and mortar and being in a mall? Like, what's the pros and cons?
Oh, so I could tell you that easily because when I first started, that was kind of what I had to balance. Because if you have a brick and mortar, your traffic and everything is dictated by you. Like everything is you, your security, everything is up to you. Like you're on your own. It's not like a system. You're going rogue in a sense.
Okay.
Mall now, you have more security, you have the hours, they have some of the resources. Like you need someone for internet, you need someone for signs, you need someone to clean sometimes. They have like there's a community of people. And on top of that, you're piggybacking off of the mall's name. So if you're in Bay Plaza or Cross County or whatever, one of them, almost all the malls are owned by a bigger corporation. So they're all kind of like chain malls in a sense. So it all kind of piggybacks off of each other. So you go in there and it's like people come to the mall, oh, it's a new store in the mall. They don't even know, they don't have to know who you are or what you do, but you're in the mall. You're stamped. Now being on the roadside, you kind of by yourself. You got to build your name. You got to do everything completely on your own. It's just you dictate. The mall has more rules. Like you have to be open certain hours and you can't do certain things. And even with COVID, you have to abide by certain restrictions. But in the regular store, you decide what you want to do.
Got you. So like, what got you into the fashion world, the clothing brand world? What got your feet wet, and how did you actually start doing it?
Well, I feel like I just naturally always liked clothes. I liked sneakers first. So I didn't always have it. So I have to get creative with my outfits and how I put things together. And I was always smaller than everybody else. So in that baggy era, where everybody's wearing jerseys and 3X Pepe jeans and shit, and I couldn't finesse that, I just had to figure out my own swag and steez to put things together. So I feel like that was always there. And then like right after I graduated and couldn't get a job, like a lot of independent brands were popping up that I knew of and I had like friends in, and that kind of exposed me to it. Without me knowing, I just kind of like studied it. I was already making clothes like at the local sports shop for my own like outfits, and that kind of just made me kind of realize, wait, I could do that and make money. And then I started experimenting. Here I am.
Smooth. And you said like you just jump right into it as you saw like other clothing brands popping up and everything, but not everybody makes it. Oh, wait, go ahead.
Nah, I wouldn't even say jump right into it. It kind of like I just realized I was there. Like I'll do shoots. I'll be hitting people up, telling them I got ideas. I was designing stuff for like, everybody had crews back in the day. I'd make my team, my friends' shirts and stuff online. I don't know what sites I used to use. So it kind of eased into it. And then it just came a couple of conversations where it's like, yo, why you don't just do your own joint?
Got you.
Like,
So like you always been into it, but more so like making it a business and everything. That's like you grew into realizing that.
Eventually I was like, wait a minute. Like I was doing it without knowing that I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, whoa, fuck it, let's get it.
Got you. So like I'm pretty sure a lot of the brands that you saw and just see in general don't make it like over time. Cause I know fashion is like a hard industry to grow in and build in. So like what tools are needed to build a successful clothing brand? And also like, what does your team look like? I'm pretty sure you need a team. So what does it look like in terms of focusing on growth? Like what structures are implemented?
I feel like I always tell people one thing you need. And I don't get to no long list. You just need to love this. If you don't love this, you're not gonna figure it out. Because you love something, you sit up at night and you try to figure it out. And people come into it for the wrong reasons. It's really easy to enter to this fashion realm, and that's why people don't last as long. Because if I get one design and I got a good relationship with a printer, I can make shirts tomorrow, and now I have a brand, and that's what people strive over. And then shit don't work out, they didn't get the money how they wanted, they give up. So it'd be short lived. You got to really love this, and I tell people all the time now that you got to kind of treat it like college. You go into college, you got 4 years with no one worrying about you making any money. It's just education. Put 3-4 years into this and just learn, do things on hand internship. You could get paid if you flip it right, but just think about it. If you could spend $30K for 4 years in school, spend $30K on this brand for 4 years and see what you get out of it. I promise you'll come out of it successful if you just think about it that way instead of I dropped my first joint, it didn't work, I'm done. Nah, you feel me? Even a couple of seasons, you're gonna have to learn. You have to reintroduce yourself as a fashion person so people could even trust you. That's another thing people don't know, that why would I buy your stuff the first day? Like, you have longevity. I have people that buy my stuff, I'm about to be in year 8 and they probably finally got something because now they see, they can trust, they can build. I exist, I'm consistent. And the team part, it's funny. I honestly, for my brand, it's just me. But I will not say I don't have a team. There's people you collab with and you come across that help you. Like, I have friends that have brands that we have efforts together. Like, we go on tours and we meet and we discuss and we help each other out. We do collabs and stuff. That's still my team. But like direct, like it's more so like in basketball terms, it's more so like the all-star game or like the Olympic team. Like, that's when I get a team. But every other day is just like, Allen Iverson on the Sixers is just a one-man team. You know, that's really how I see it sometimes. That's like my favorite analogy for that, because like it's just really me doing it all alone. But I say you need a team, not so much as in like hands-on, like mentally. Like, you need someone to like you could share with, you could be down with, and like kind of go through the same thing, because go through it alone is a lot. I mean, for the most part, you can do it because I've done it in the early stages, but after a while, you want that. You want that reassurance.
Got you. So like, how do you stay on your toes creatively? One thing you just mentioned is like, you got to continuously grow, and like, it's always a learning process. So how do you stay on your toes creatively and know like, all right, what fashion things are in and what's next?
You gotta stay true, and that's another thing you gotta know. One, your competition is you. I always look to compete against myself. If I did this last year, what am I gonna do this year? Like, that's one thing. You gotta have your own taste level when you're competing with yourself. Next is, like I said, you gotta be a product of your environment. I go outside, I see what's happening. I caught wave of when the dad hat and the snap adjustable joints was, moving. I've never been a fan of hats, but I know, like, all right, this is something I can't ignore. In 2016, when the dad had things, I was just outside and I paid attention, and I was smart enough to know, like, the reason why those do so well is because if you have 20 snapbacks, you have 20 customers. But if you have 20 shirts and they're all smalls and everybody wants a large, you have none customers. It's way easier to move the hats than the shirts. So that's why they do so good. Then now we're transitioning to more so fitted hats, where I just dropped my first fitted collaboration with my boy a couple of months ago. And now it's not so much snaps and adjustables. You can still have them, but the basis is unfitted. So you got to get up on that and pay attention to that. And then before, people used to just want to match their sneakers. Now they'll make their whole outfit match they had, or they don't got to match as much. Especially coming out the pandemic, a lot of people, their styles have changed. So you just gotta like interact. You like these big companies come down and they try and market research, but we're in the streets. Like, just go outside. Just go outside. And I also tell people, don't be blindsided and I don't only wear my stuff. I wear my stuff a lot, but I don't only wear my stuff because I want to know what's outside. I wear popular stuff so I could take that energy and try and recreate it, reverse engineer it, so I know what's what on the market.
Got you. So like, when you have these ideas in your mind and everything, how do you conceptualize it and bring it to life? Like, what's the process like?
So it depends. Like, if I see your shirt right there, blah blah blah, I might write it down. I might make little notes right there. If I seen it online, I might screenshot it and I put it in a folder. I have a folder of a bunch of things I just like. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I just have it there. And then, someone's come in. Do I want to bring back anything new? Do I need to make something to match a hat or something specific? I'll just skim through that and boom. Oh, I remember I want to do that. this is the perfect time. I have the other piece of the puzzle for that. You just put a couple pieces together, and that's just how it works for me. Like it just pops up. I could make 100 designs tonight if I needed to. It's just the energy certain days. Like today could be one of them days I feel like designing. Tomorrow might not be.
Got you. So you have certain days where you feel creative, you feel like designing. And other days it's more like business and sit back and gameplay.
So, well, I took something from Erica Badu. She said, like, creatives, we operate a little bit different. Like we kind of got to be creative on demand. And it's not that you don't have no ideas or anything. It's just you need to recharge. So there'll be days I'm spitting out designs, blah, 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 blah. I've been working all day. I had a shoot all day yesterday. I might go to the gym today and just play ball. And I'm going to get the energy from my friends. We're going to be talking about popular culture and everything, about basketball last night. And I might see my guy wear something crazy. And it will inspire me. I'll come back. My soul, my energy is restored. And I'll be fresh for everything. If I'm just sitting at the computer, there's no inspiration comes from the computer. You get everything from life. So you got to live. So that's usually how I get it.
Actually, that's a big bar right there for sure. Sure. And I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but the Naraji trainers, right?
The Naraj
trainers. My bad. I butchered that one. The Naraji
that's actually the most popular way of people saying it if they don't get it right. So you're right along.
Gotcha. Cool. The Naraji trainer. So like you coming out, you got your own sneaker, your own shoe.
Yeah, man.
It's definitely dope for sure. So like, what goes into making your own shoe?
That is probably the most difficult thing I've ever endured in fashion, period. And it's most rewarding as well because I released those the 7th year of the brand of my first release. My first release was August 26, 2013, and I dropped those August 26, 2020. 7 years. I know that they said, I forgot how much hours, but 7 years it takes to be a master of something. So I felt like it just was the time. Originally, like I said in the start of this interview, is that I come from sneakers. So that's where all my fashion sense comes from, the bottom up. So to revisit that later on is just great. And it's difficult, man, because just sampling sneakers, like sneakers have to look good, feel good, and function. There's so much things that can go wrong. If your shirt is just a little too tight, it's fine. If your sneakers a little bit too tight, it might be a whole different mood, you understand? So you could still finesse the shirt, but a sneaker is a whole different thing. Like somebody could wear a medium and they really needed a small, but someone might not be able to wear a 10 and they needed a 9. It's two different, it's night and day. And then it's expensive because a sole costs a minimum of $1,000 each size. And I've learned that that's why a lot of people don't go as high as, they don't really do 13 and a halves and 14s, or they don't do half sizes, period, because it's a lot of money for the sole. So if I got one customer that wants a size 15, it's kind of like, bro, is it worth it to get your $200, but it cost me $1,000 plus just to get it? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be tough. So there's a lot of learning I learned from that.
Got you. So like, what's your plan or your vision into tapping into that sneaker and that shoe market? Because I know a lot of people just like to stick to their standard, Nike, Adidas. So I'm pretty sure like it's a task to break into that market and get people to start rocking something new.
So yeah, I kind of, with that first one, I kind of want to like go right in the middle. Like I got high fashion, I got street, I go play ball. They asked me to make ball sneakers. I got ball players. So I'm like, you know what? One of my favorite shoes where it's high fashion, but it feels like a super comfort shoe was like those Balenciaga's trainers that look like socks. And I bought those and I love them so much. And it's like, yo, like the technology on these are really amazing. And I'm futuristic, like the McFly thing, the McFly spin is a spin on being futuristic and everything. So I was like, you know what? I want to go that look, but I want to go like Super Saiyan. So I kind of looked into that. I was like, I want a real bulky outer sole that will make it speak out, but at the same time, it's black with hints of orange to be like, I could wear this anywhere. And then I added a reflective cage over it because I like to go out and when they flash pictures, it's just the reaction, the interaction. You want people to see your shoes. And I know naturally people want to take pictures of stuff. It's like, boom, oh, wait. Now that's all I want to do over and over. So you're going to sell it for me just off of that. Some people got the shoe and they didn't know it did that. And then it's not till they go out and it's like, wait a minute, these are literally dancing. So it worked out like that. So that was kind of my angle. Like, okay, your regular Nikes and shoes might cost you under $200. The Balenciagas and stuff, $600-700. I want to be right in the middle at 200. You could wear them regular, you could wear them dressed up, either way you want. So I'm right there in the middle. The guys that's too hood to get dressed up or don't want to afford that, they got a chance. And the guys that's fashionable, they can enjoy this too.
Got you. So that's how you set your pricing. That's how you keep your pricing.
Yeah. So that's why, like, I knew my target market with that. Like, okay, that's where I want to be, and that's the kind of look I want to give. Because there's some people that never owned a shoe like that before, and because of me, they'll try it. And there's people that do the high fashion. It's like, oh yeah, this is definitely my vibe already. So,
got you. That's pretty smart for sure. So, you basically broke down too. Like, there's a science to choosing the colors and like the textures themselves in the clothing industry.
Yes. And the price. So, I knew for a fact, I actually am a really, really big fan of Jordan and Jordan Brand and how they do things. Ironic enough, Jordan always has black and red. Red is, by numbers, statistics, most people's favorite color. So just him being in Chicago, it just kind of worked out. So red is usually people's favorite color. I didn't always do red. My favorite color is orange. And I'm like, I always want to make the world more orange. So I was like, I'm going to substitute any red. I still do red, but I said, I'll make orange the basis. So when you think of orange, you think of me, which has kind of come to fruition now. So I'm like, all right, the first colorway needs to be so much black that even if it has a little orange, you can wear with anything. So I'm introducing you with the first one out that's easiest. It's just the easiest thing to support and wear. You don't got to be super high fashion to go put off some black shoes. It's black, has its good accents, its rich qualities, fine. I dropped the second colorway, it was white and blue. It's a little left, a little bit more left, a little bit more fashionable. It's summer, it's warm. For people to be able to wear that and keep them clean and everything, you got to be, so I knew what I was introducing first. And I know Jordan usually introduces the first colorway black and red. And around Easter, it's always a white, blue-based shoe. I dropped mine April 30th, just paying homage to what I've known. I've grown up. New Jordans for Easter at Easter time, new Jordans at December. October, as kind of my Christmas is my birthday, is Halloween, ties into the whole orange, and I always have a big fashion show. So October, usually when I debut that kind of stuff, the fall, because it all ties in the color scheme. And then April, I follow Jordan Easter.
Smooth.
Yeah.
So you just dropped a whole bunch of game on us for sure. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's big. Like if you dress up, you probably the thing about it is that people forget, like, once you are able to create anything, it becomes a mental game, like what makes sense. So these businesses, they've been doing it for so long. It's like, and we live by it, but we don't notice it. If I just sit back a minute, I'm like, why they do that? Why they did that? And I realized, like, everybody wants to get white and clean for Easter. It just makes sense. Why not? So, hey, I sat on them shoes for a while. I was like, I'm not gonna drop that in December, January, and it's gonna get dirty and all the pictures are gonna look horrible because it's still snowing outside in New York. Nah, I'll wait till we know it's past. And it's right around them time when April's just the time when everybody wants to go fix up their wardrobe. Hey, come get these white joints.
Got you. So you always got to think ahead.
Yeah, you got to think ahead. And I also want to say you got to be able to, like, flow with the time. So you just know, like, what's happening. Like, I've had times where I'm dropped a bunch of slides and they didn't come till December, January, and I was hesitant to release them, but I had to think wisely. Like, I should just market it more so to the vacationers, because in that time, a lot of people are going on vacation and it's right after Christmas. They got their money, tax season is coming and everything. And it's like, where else are they going to get this stuff? And I probably sold more slides in December, January that I did that first summer I produced them, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's dope.
You got to be able to adjust. A little bit of it is planning. Some of it is just finessing, figuring it out.
Got you. Planning and finessing.
Exactly.
You got to write a book, man. That would be like the chapter for that part right there.
I have a couple of book ideas in my mind. I can't even lie to you.
Oh, man, for sure. We definitely going to copy them. Like, when it drops, we on it for sure.
Of course.
Sure. So, before we skate out, is there anything that you will, like, any game or gem you'll drop to anybody, regardless of race, creed, age, gender? What's one piece of value that you'll drop on somebody just to, elevate their mind?
I would say fall in love with the process, fall out of love with money. If you do something you love, you never work a day in your life. And if you're good at something, you will get paid for it. That's just it. I've always stick to the values. You're the worst person to lie to is yourself. I've always sat back, and I used to go to job interviews and worry about more so what I had to wear to work than what the job was. And I should have known in my head that if I care so much about wearing sneakers and short polo button-ups instead of tuck-in shirts and ties that I care more about the fashion than the paycheck. And that's where my life is at. So I should have paid attention to that. And I would think like this is it for me because, you know, society would say that, or your parents would say that, and it wasn't. I just didn't enjoy it. I got a bachelor's degree. My whole time at St. John University, all 4 years, I was outside partying right before, come home, 3 hours sleep, go to school. And I passed still with flying colors, but my heart wasn't in it. My heart was being outside with the energy, the fashion and everything. And just don't deny that. Don't make anyone tell you who you are, you know, and do what you love and you'll be all right.
Nice, real smooth. Hit people with where to follow you, any sites you want to drop or anything.
SignByMcFly.com, Simon McFly on Instagram. That's for the brand. Mugzy McFly. That's me. You could Google it. A bunch of things will pop up. And yeah, if you need me, DM me. I ain't too Hollywood for nothing.
Dope, man. Definitely appreciate your energy. Thanks for giving your time, being present, dropping mad gems. We appreciate it, man, for sure.
All right, man.
BlxckMonopoly, dope dialogue. We out.